What's up? Hey, I'm just trying out this new webcam utility for my camera that I usually use, and I am not sure if it is working or not. So hopefully it is. And just bear with me while I get everything working here. Not sure. I know there's a lot of live streams going on tonight, so don't know what everybody has planned. Let's see if I can get this going on here. What's going on here? What's going on here? Oops, that's not what I wanted. So I don't know what everybody has planned for this amazing 2020 2021 end of the year. So I'm just kind of riffing because no one's here yet. And that's just because I am not known for doing live streams. But uh, let's see if I could pull some people in here and see what I can do. See if this is even working. Is this working? I know I'm up against Bob and Zombie Collector right now, so I know you guys are probably watching them. But let's see if I can figure out how to broadcast what or tell people where this is going. Is there anybody there? Still nobody there. Let's see. Is there anybody in there? There we go. Hey, I got somebody else in here. Let's just copy this URL and let's paste it somewhere so people can see. Don't know who's all out there. Who's all out there? Anybody? Yeah, I'm just kind of trying a new utility on the camera and just kind of riffing and seeing who's all up tonight. Let's see if I can remember my Twitter password. Nope, I don't remember my Twitter password, so I'm not going to post it on Twitter. There's Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? It is New Year's Eve. I got some of my old entertainment binders here. Not sure what people might be interested in. Kind of the old school TTMs and IP stuff. What's this one? S to Z. My in-persons. So, you doing anything interesting tonight, Jeff? Or anybody? So yeah, I kind of I know I'm not really known for going live, but just trying out a new thing. Canon actually introduced a new utility for hooking up the camera that I usually use for YouTube into a webcam for the Mac. And so I'm just kind of trying that out a little bit here tonight. Hey Alex, how's it going? Happy New Year, all that fun stuff. And hey, Joe's in the house. So cool. I got a few people here, but yeah. So I kind of have a little bit of my binders here. I don't have the cards anywhere. They're way over there, and it'd take too long to find things. But I don't know if you guys would be interested at all in some of my IP or former TTM stuff. What is that stuff? It's been so long since I've looked through some of these things. It's pretty cool. Yeah, thanks to COVID, nothing special. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. I was just watching Zombie Collector and Bob on the other stream there, and just trying to get through tonight. I got this new, like I said, I got this new utility, but I'm kind of limited to what my batteries are, and so I'm not sure how long my batteries will last because it's not hooked up to a power supply. And so if I suddenly just go boop and I'm gone, then we'll know that how long the batteries last because I have a little counter here and I can say, oh, those two batteries lasted 20 minutes or half an hour or whatever they are. So yeah, things. Happy New Year to you too, Joe, and to Chris's graphs there. I'm not sure if I've seen you comment before, so welcome. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out tonight. Oh man, so I'm trying to get back into 8x10s. This is what I keep my 8x10s in. This is called an Itoya binder, and instead of I used to use Ultra Pro pages with what do you call it, magazine backing boards, and I kind of stopped doing that and started using these Itoya binders because I've just been really happy with them. The pages do not stick at all, so that is pretty cool. And here's one from Alex here. And yeah, so this is some of my IPs. I don't know the best way to show some of these in here. They're kind of fun. But I invited Chase and Zombie to join if they're ready, or if they're ever able. So here's some of the IPs that I've gotten. I don't know. These go back a long way. So there's Colin Baker from Doctor Who, which is pretty cool. Let's see. I got a whole bunch of stuff. So I got some of you might remember Brian Bonsall from Star Trek and the movie Blank Check. Now, what's funny about this autograph is I actually met up with him at one point, and I said, "Hey, I got you TTM," and he actually said, "Oh, that my sister used to sign all those." So, hey Eddie, good to see you. You use the Itoya ones too. Yeah, Itoya is really cool, and they make binders of all sizes, like all the way up to like poster size. So this one is pretty cool. Ho! Hacksaw Jim Duggan right there. What did he say? Good luck? I don't know what that's about, but hey. Hey Alex, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by, and yep, and Happy New Year. All right. Yeah, Brian Bonsall was also the little brother in Family Ties with Alex P. Keaton way back when. So, yeah. It's hard to show these in the binder, and I don't want to take them all out. But let's see. So this is kind of a funny one. David Franklin was in, I think, Farscape. And I actually met him at a convention, and he had nobody at his table. And I saw him come out from behind the curtain, and he was like going, "Yeah!" And so I was just like, "Yeah!" And then I was like, "Oh, you're not who I thought you were." I was just playing with him, and so later I saw him. I saw him sitting alone at his table, and looked kind of sad actually. And so I went over there, and I got the autograph, and so that's why it says, "Troy, I'm sorry, I was such a disappointment. F you, David Franklin." So that's pretty funny. Have you ever gotten Don Wells on a photo? No, actually. So here's the thing with Don Wells is many of you know that I actually used to live in Los Angeles, and I actually share a P.O. box with Don Wells, or the same place. And they used to sell, this was about 3 years ago. She was actually selling, for those who know Gilligan's Island, she was actually selling autographed um, bottle openers at this mailbox that we both have a PO box at, and I never got one. And now I'm pretty sad. I never ran into her. Other people at the mailbox, Denzel Washington has a mailbox there, and I've never saw him, but I did see Joe Mantegna from I think Criminal Minds. I did run into him a few times at the mailbox, but no, I never did get Don Wells on a photo, unfortunately. Um, Here's Julian Glover from Game of Thrones, who was also in Star Wars. Saw him at a convention not too long ago. This was an old one, so you guys know how Mark Hamill now charges like $200, $300. This was $20 back in 1985. No, not 85, 95. And now he's like $200 or something. Kind of crazy. So I got Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox right there from Chips. Used to love that show. And then I'm still scared of motorcycles when they come up on the highway because I think it's the police. It's the fuzz, even though I'm now in Iowa again. It's kind of crazy. I know. Um, yeah, so I haven't really looked through this for a long time. I don't know if anybody you know the music group Celtic Thunder. They were really big 6 or 7 years ago. I think they're still going on, but I met them and got a CD signed by Paul and Damian McGinty, who was later on. Oh, what was the name? What was the name of that show? Glee. So that's pretty cool. Sir John Hurt, right there. It's kind of that's a really neat shot of the war doctor. Sir John Hurt, yes. And then there's just a lot of little things. I used to rep some actors and back in the day. So these are hard to get. So we got Eric Lloyd from the Santa Claus. Who's a good friend back in the day. YouTuber extraordinaire. Charlie is so cool like. Hey Shoebox. Yeah, the Chips one was really fun to get. And they were a good guy. So this one has a little bit of controversy because he later hey Colin, how's it going? He later said some not good things about Scott Baio, but this is from Charles in Charge, Adams in Charge. Just got a bunch of things from over the years. My gosh. I actually did the website for this kid. You may remember from Lizzie McGuire, Jake Thomas, and he was in the movie AI with Haley Joel Osment. Yeah, just a lot of little things. So, anyway, just thought I'd hang out a little bit. We'll see. I guess just got a message on Facebook. Let's see who all is coming here. Let me try this again. 1 second. Zombie collector's trying to get on here, and I don't know how to let him on. Let's see. How do I? At conventions, do they sell photos or do you bring your own? I've done both. Sometimes the autographs are, they include a photo, and so if it is, one that I don't like or didn't bring, then I'll just have them give it since it includes the photo. But let's see if I can find Zombie Collector here. I don't know It says I should. It says I should be able to invite Zombie Collector. There he is. He is coming on. Oh, it is Zombie.
What up, dude?
I can't hear him, but let's see.
You can't hear me? Hello?
Nope, I can't hear you, Zombie.
You can't hear me? What? That's lame, dude.
Oh, bummer. I can see him, but I can't hear him. I don't know if it's me or Zombie. But he is here, and we saw his cat.
Oh, shoot.
Hang on 1 second. Maybe it is just me.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Can you guys hear Zombie?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Are you coming out of my mouth? Out of my mouth?
Oh no! 1 second.
Come here, kitty cat. Garfield. Yo.
Oh, hang on 1 sec. Jason, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
That didn't work. Oh man. Let's try this. I am going to do something that I probably shouldn't do. One second. That's very frustrating. I don't know why I can't hear you. Give me a second.
Knock it off.
This may not.
Oh, judo chop, you cat. Oh, judo chop, 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 chop.
It's frustrating. Sorry about that. I'm actually listening to myself on YouTube now, so. Well, I can hear Zombie, but I'm going to probably hear myself in a second too, so.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Zombie's going to have to teach me how to live stream here pretty soon. I can't hear you. I can't hear you through StreamYard, but I hear you through YouTube now. So we're gonna have a little bit of
weird.
Like one of those baseball games or something with the 5-second delay.
Okie dokie, artichoke. That's weird. Yeah.
Make Troy's great again. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I got a new TTM.
Yeah, this is weird, but there's nothing I could do about it that I could see. Huh. Oh, you know what? 1 second. 1 second.
Okay.
I know what it is.
I'm waiting. Waiting.
Hang on 1 second.
Okay. I'm waiting.
Zombie, tell us your TTM.
TTM. Through the mail. I'll wait.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. It's on like Donkey Kong. That was weird. Good thing I don't work with computers, right?
Indeed.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on?
Yeah.
No, I had the audio going through this other thing. Zombie, what's your TTM?
Oh, yes, everybody's favorite Mormon, Vance Law.
Vance Law, pirate. That's not a pirate card, though.
What'd you say?
That's not a pirate card, though.
It is not a pirate card. You are correct. This is a pirate-free card.
Wow.
But yeah, man, I was excited about this one.
I just when I think of Vance Law, I think of the 1982 Fleer with the glasses and the hat. So
did you get that one off? Did you get that one signed through the mail?
I don't know if he returned it or not. I'd have to look.
I bet you probably. I'm sure you probably have it somewhere if you did.
Yeah, it's out there.
Out there in the interwebs.
Yeah. But yeah, so just kind of hanging.
Just hanging. Was there? Did you tell me you had a purpose of trying to like test out some equipment or some programs or something?
Yeah. So I use a Canon T7i for my YouTube videos, and I have a Mac, and they never really had a way to hook up the camera to the computer for a live stream. That was only for Windows. And like last week, they came out with the software, and so I'm like, oh, I got to try that, and here we are.
Is it working?
I think so. If you can see me,
I can.
If I can hear you,
it's a success.
There you go. Dirk Benedict approves. Oop,
oh, right, as long as Dirk approves, that's all that matters. I see him back there. So I saw on your last video you released today that you might be heading towards doing some entertainment or celebrity based autos for the foreseeable future. Is that correct, or was that just to get the interwebs talking?
Well, it's more expensive. That's the only bad part about it, you know.
Right.
But I really like the 8x10s that you can get, and I kind of miss it, you know. Oop, this is in the wrong thing. This was an in person. I should probably.
Oh yeah, everybody's got a price.
You know, it was funny because I talked to him, and I was telling him about
me.
Virgil. Good old Virgil.
Oh, Virgil, man. Everybody has a Virgil story. Oh, man.
And so I was, like many people, I saw Virgil at a convention and nobody was going to him. And,
yeah.
And so I felt sorry for him, and I went up and paid the whatever, $20 and got something signed. And so I actually took the picture of Virgil, and I think I had Honky Tonk Man sign it as well. And I took it to DiBiase, and he's like, "Where'd you get this photo?" And he's like, I'm like, Virgil? And he's like, he's not supposed to be doing that. He's been warned several times about, you know, using my name and this, that. And so I looked him up, and there's actually a website called lonelyvirgil.net. And it's just Virgil setting up shop, trying to sign autographs in like the subway and city parks and just different places. And there's a banner that says Virgil and Ted DiBiase. And I guess Mr. Ted, the Mr. Religious now, wasn't appreciating that.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like he always, at least here in Indiana, he's done a couple of shows, and he's like always like no one's there, and like sometimes he'll be out trying to talk to like the guests or whatever, like in the parking lot, trying to get like try to get $5 off of him or something, or you know, and all this stuff. It's just it's actually kind of sad. I'm always like, man, that sucks, dude. This guy.
Lonely Virgil. If you have a chance, lonelyvirgil.net, I think it is. It's pretty funny.
It's like everybody has a Florida. If you go to like Google and type in Florida man, there's always a Florida man story. There's always a Virgil story. Like no matter where you live, you hear Virgil, you're like, oh, I got a story about that
Right.
guy.
And then Honky Tonk Man was telling me something about, he used to do shows in Des Moines, I guess. And he's like, yeah, we do a show at, it was then Vets Auditorium. That's where the big venue back then. But then he'd get done with the show and the bus wouldn't be until the next day or something. And he'd just take his laundry and walk out of the venue and go find a 24-hour laundromat and just sit down and wash his stuff before the next day. I was just like, man, I always thought, the limousines and everything,
right.
not everybody is DiBiase, I guess. So
no. Well, Honky Tonk Man, he was he was an Intercontinental Champion for years, and
yeah,
I liked him a whole lot. I think that he kind of got the raw deal towards the end of his career or whatever. But I mean, he was a really a good guy. I like him a lot. But yeah, he's a pretty bitter dude nowadays with the whole WWF, whatever, and Vince and all that. But I like him a lot. I met Ted DiBiase one time also, like you were saying, at a church, actually, of all places.
There you go.
Yeah, so and that was interesting. Yeah, I met him, and at the time I wasn't really into TTMs. It was when I was in college, and I didn't really know that world or like in-person autographs. I never really started doing that too much. And if I could go back to 19-year-old Jason, I would have been like, "What are you thinking? Go get something, get that autograph," because he was signing for free. And he was at the church.
Oh,
and I just was like, I just wanted to hear what he had to say. But it was a cool story. But
yeah, they actually have a WWE sells like a replica $1 million belt. It's like $400 or $500. It's pretty cool, but I'm like, no, you don't see that one plastic at Walmart. It's actually,
yeah, they probably have somebody in Pakistan make it for $50.
Well, yeah, that's true. But hey, Dave, thanks for joining, Dave. Yeah, what do you think about that? Like, there was like a lot of these people that built, the WWF, and before it was WWE. Like now, like most of them are seen as a joke almost. Like Honky Tonk Man and what was the I'm doing that thing. Who was the parrot guy? Coco Beware.
Oh yeah, Coco Beware with Frankie on
right.
the show.
But it's like all those people that made the company are kind of seen as a joke now.
Yeah. Well, I think that I mean, I'm a pretty big wrestling fan, not as big as a lot, but bigger than some. I think a lot of them who had like those kind of goofy gimmicks from the 80s and 90s, right. They never let their gimmicks go, and and then when they got let go by WWE, they never reinvented themselves and never tried to come at it in a different direction. That's a big thing with wrestling. I'm sure I'm not telling you that you don't know, is that if you don't change your gimmick, sometimes you're going to end up getting sent packing. And Vince McMahon, he's not a big fan of like guys who like get out of shape. He wants big, beefy guys. He wants big, beefy, strapping young lads. And if you let yourself go a little bit, then you're probably going to be let go. And so a lot of those guys, they started putting on the pounds. It wasn't cool to see a 230-pound guy flopping around with Frankie is okay, but a 330-pound guy, not so much. So
Frankie,
I think those are the things that happen. So yeah.
Yeah, it's I can't tell you how many Monday nights I spent watching the 2-hour Gorilla and Bobby the Brain Heenan show. That was fun.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great commentating team. Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain, they were great on the mic. There's only a few guys left like that. They're like those old school commentators. You have JR,
right,
with AEW now, and Tony Schiavone does it too. And they're like kind of the last guys that have that connection to the 80s, and maybe with like even JR, like 70s possibly, right? With Tony Schiavone. And so once those guys either hang it up or they pass on, it's going to be a whole new crop of guys. There's really not going to be many guys left like that. So yeah, it is true. But yeah, I do enjoy watching wrestling. I mean, I don't know. I know that's not what you got me on here for. But
I know. How did we get to that? Oh, Because
Yeah, but I will
I
say,
showed Hacksaw Jim Duggan earlier too. That's
oh
that's
yeah,
kind
dude,
of how I got.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Ho! So, yeah. So let me ask you, Troy. You've done obviously a lot of in person, either at conventions or whatever. Is there anybody that you've ever met that you're, I don't know, maybe excited to meet or had some sort of like excitement about, and then when you met them, they were like a complete letdown for whatever reason, and you're like, man, I was so excited for this douchebag. Man, this guy was a complete jerk.
Yeah, I get, it's hard for me to say because there's some people you like. Okay, this is you're gonna know who I'm gonna say, but
I'm
I
sure.
had interacted with this person for a while online, and a friend of mine actually edits his books, and I wanted to be him growing up because he had these awesome sweaters on Star Trek: The Next Generation. And so I finally got to meet Will Wheaton, and just like Sheldon, I was not completely enamored at the time.
Yeah.
It was only like 10 seconds, and he's one of those celebrities that does not let you take pictures from the line or of him signing things. Like any pictures are supposed to be professional, and so you can't just take a picture of him from the line. Like they have people standing in front of you kind of doing that. And then I saw him once, and I did get the autographs and mentioned some of the stuff. Like I used to play poker with him online and stuff like that, and I saw him again at a convention, and it was I want to say it was like a year later, and it was exactly the same. And I actually paid for this panel. It was like Will Wheaton After Dark or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey and Sean DeShear from back in the day.
I'm so surprised. Why am I? No. And it was exactly the same comedy routine as he did the year before that I saw for free. I was like, oh man, I paid $25 for this special uncensored panel. Arrgh. But hey, Daily Sports Talk found the channel about 3 months ago. The good thing in 2020. That's so nice. That's surprising because I haven't done many videos in 2020. But glad you found us here. So Ultimate Warrior. I never got to meet him or see him in person, and I keep watching. This is one of the annoying things is I keep wanting to watch some of these specials online, like streaming, and they're not streaming anywhere, or maybe they're on the WWE app. I don't know, but like on I used to have the Bret the Hitman Hart 3 or 4 disc DVD set, and I donated it to Goodwill or something. And it's like, I want to watch some of that, and I'm like, it's nowhere to be found on Netflix, on Amazon. The only thing
have Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, Amazon, I'm watching one actually right now, Vampiro, right before I got on here with you. But there's also one of Ted DiBiase I've already watched. There's one of the Iron Sheik.
I think I saw the Ted DiBiase one on there. Yeah. And
Iron Sheik, and then I think they have one with they just put a new one on DDP with DDP. It's called Relentless. Yeah.
Bam! The diamond cutter, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And Jimmy the Superfly Snuka. And then I think they might have the Jason Snake Roberts on there too, but they're all free. So,
yeah, because I know Diamond Dallas Page helped, Jake the Snake.
Jake and Scott Hall.
And is that the
Razor Ramon?
Razor Ramon, yeah, that's what I was. I was trying to do the toothpick thing, and
and he's like, yeah.
But I want to watch some of those classic matches, and you can't. They're not streaming anywhere, and it's just kind of annoying.
Well, if you type it on YouTube, I mean, I watched quite a few because I'm a big Jake the Snake, and also like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and a lot of those guys from the '80s. If you type in like specifically just the name, I mean, you can find quite a few of their matches. I mean, there is a lot of like digging sometimes. So I mean, I definitely understand. It is nice, like you said, if you just pull it up whenever you want to watch it. So
yeah, maybe it's on their app and you have to subscribe. I don't know.
It may be.
Chris was asking. You? I don't. I am so out of it. I do know.
I like my wrestling like I like my women. Fake.
I know DK. DK is a big UFC person, I think, or is he MMA? I'm not sure which one.
Who's TK?
DK, DEA,
Oh.
DEE. He does a lot of
No,
TTMs with MMA
I
people.
respect Dana White, who runs the UFC. I mean, he's a guy
Right.
who is one of the few owners of a major sporting corporation who's not bowing down to some of the ridiculousness. So I appreciate the fact that he's letting his people rest or fight, but I don't watch it.
Yeah,
Oh
I actually saw him. I actually saw him at a conference. He gave like a keynote. It was kind of bizarre for him to give a keynote at this social media conference, but
I break you to make you humble to relax. I break you to make you humble.
We also had
you in the common clutch.
It was the same. I think it was the same. We had the same conference. We had this guy. His name was Marshall Silver, and he sponsored the conference. And he was like this Vegas hypnotist, so to speak. And so they gave him a keynote because he was a diamond sponsor or something. And the show, they gave everybody a copy of his book that was like 20 years old. And then you Googled him in Wikipedia, and it talked about how much of a scammer he was. And you're just kind of reading down the thing. And during the keynote, the head of the conference is like tweeting like, guys, I'm so sorry, I didn't know, I'm so sorry. It's like while this guy is on stage, and I'm like, just cut him off already. It was kind of crazy.
Where's the hook that you put in and pull them off the stage?
Right. Well, he was trying to hook people. He's like, if you want to sign up for my coaching thing, there's a table in back, and they had people with the money guns that were shooting dollar bills up in the air and everything. It was bad.
Bad.
Although Sausage, Ultimate Warrior was cool, but then he was in Dingo Warrior. DDP Yoga. I actually have the had the DDP. I gifted the DDP Yoga to a good friend.
So if I still look like a beluga whale by the end of 2021, you know that I did not put forth the effort on the DDP Yoga, but I got it right over there on my counter, and I'm gonna put it in starting tomorrow. And I'm gonna punch the crap out of the air.
It looks easy, and at first you make fun of the people that are like using a chair. Like if you just watch it through just to see what's going on, and you're like, "What are these people using a chair to balance themselves? What idiots!" And then you try to do it, and you're like, "Where's my chair?
I need my chair, timber."
But no, it's pretty good. Joe says $9.95. Yeah, that's a little bit. Yeah, I'm not that into it anymore, so probably pass on that app. Although I did get fiber internet now, which is pretty cool.
Nice, look at you. Don't tell anybody from Tennessee that you have new optic internet because they might blow up the local area you live in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's crazy stuff going down there.
Yeah, no. My brother down there. My brother went there for the New Year's. I'm like, all right, man. It was nice knowing you.
Four-leaf card. Happy New Year. And Joe saying, everybody's saying hi to Joe. Joe saying hi to Four-leaf. Hey, guess who's here? Boom. Heckles and Shekels, Henry S.
Henry.
Mr. Keycard extraordinaire. I saw him on the live stream earlier mentioning his key cards. So.
Yes, man. I love it, dude. That is a gift that keeps on giving right there.
You know what I miss, and I don't want to bring the live stream down or anything. We got 12 people here, but I actually I have over here, I don't know, you can't see him. I got Vern Troyer TTM like right before he committed suicide, and I really miss his unboxing videos because he would take his fan mail and open it up, and he'd be like showing one of the people from Harry Potter. He's like, "Nope, that one's not me." Like he would out people on his stream, like, "This one's not me, not signing it, sorry." Right. And then go on to his things. But he had such an entertaining channel, and I really miss Vern Troyer's stuff.
So what happened? Did he kill himself when?
I don't. Has it been 2 years now,
Yeah,
or just a year? But
it
yeah,
seemed a little bit out of the blue, right? It wasn't like it was. I mean,
yeah,
it didn't seem.
yeah. If you're depressed, you're not going to be doing videos. But yeah, I mean, I had noticed that he had stopped doing videos, and then kind of the news got here. But
That's man. Yeah,
Troyo's got fiber in his diet. Yeah, I need to get some
get
fiber.
yourself regular.
Rusty steel rod.
Oh, I don't know what that means, but okay.
And then Henry's looking for more key cards. If anybody has any,
of course he is. Yeah, just stay away from the hotel in The Shining. Just don't want to know that.
I want to go there. That'd be so awesome.
Is that in Colorado?
Yeah, it's in Colorado. You know, I don't want to go there during COVID, obviously, but I guess that would be an interesting project, is to go to a lot of hotels that have been in movies. I guess. I mean, that might be kind of neat. Kind of like my
1401.
Yeah, kind of like my French dip around the U.S. I have a whole Instagram account dedicated to French dip sandwiches. If anybody's interested, it's called French Dipster on Instagram. But because there's actually, so we talked about WWE, but now about French dip sandwiches. There's actually 2 restaurants in LA that claim to be the very first French dip sandwich. One is called Philippe's, and they're kind of considered the real one, and one is called Cole's, I think, and they're kind of competing for being the original French dip sandwich. And what's interesting about Philippe's is you go and they don't give you the dip; they're pre-dipped, like they dip the entire sandwich in the au jus before they give it to you.
Well, look at that. Like, you didn't know that we already pre-dipped them.
And so I've gone to like 30 to 40 French dip places.
Wow.
And I gotta say, one of the best, for some reason, is good old Arby's. I don't know. I just really love the au jus at Arby's.
Wow, look at that. Who knew that Arby's had it figured out?
Yeah. Chris is here. Henry's glad to see you, Chris. I'm glad to see you too. But yeah, just kind of hanging out. I don't know. Like I said, I got this not a new camera, but this new utility, and it kind of makes me, I have to hook everything up weird. Like I got my voiceover microphone, and I can't walk in my office because of everything that's set up. But I don't know how long the batteries last on this thing, and there's no way for me to see what the battery life is on the camera right now. So at any point,
it'll just cut off.
It could just cut off. So I'm just warning everybody, we're at 43 minutes. I think that's pretty good. You know, if a battery lasts an hour, that is pretty much what a live stream maybe should be. I know Zombie, you go 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes, but you know.
Yeah, I'm a motor mouth. What do you expect?
So what's this?
I'm always looking to offend people. So if I talk long enough, I'm surely going to do it.
This is my Babylon 5 binder.
Oh.
So I got Michael O'Hare.
J. Michael. Oh.
J. Michael Straczynski. Yeah, I mean he's my bud. So
you guys are like besties.
There's a Bill Mooney, Richard Biggs.
Oh, nice.
Walter Koenig, Chekhov.
Yeah, Chekhov. Now, what did you do on the show again?
I did the website.
You did the website, okay.
Way back when. So this is funny. Here's another. So I actually found this picture of Walter Koenig on Wikipedia, and I sent it to him, and I get this long letter back, and it says, "Hey, I really like that picture. Can you send it to me?" And I'm like, well, if you want to use it at conventions, I didn't take it, but I'll send it to you and you can make copies, but you should probably contact the person who actually took the picture and ask permission to do that first. Oh, here it is.
You would think you'd be able to use it since it's him.
Yeah, but that was in 2017. So, I mean, he actually wrote this big long letter.
That's awesome. He's
I can't.
passed since then, right?
No, Walter's still alive. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Man, I don't want to get rid of him. Sorry about that, Walter. You stay as long
Actually,
as you want, buddy.
well, actually, it's not. It's actually a good guess of yours because the Babylon 5 cast have a history of passing away young for whatever reason. Like everybody's almost gone except for like Bruce Boxleitner, and I think he's only alive because he's up in Canada doing Hallmark movies forever.
Yeah.
Claudia
He's a
Christian,
national treasure up there.
yeah, and yeah, Walter does TTMs. He's actually pretty good at TTMs. If anybody,
You know who is not is George Takei and
oh geez,
yeah,
Shatner.
yeah.
Shatner, I actually talked about Mark Hamill, before you came on. I got Mark Hamill in 1995 for $20 in person, and now he's like 200 something.
Yeah, inflation, baby.
But Shatner and Takei are pretty hard. Nichelle Nichols was, I think hers was only 40 or 60 when I met her, but she's getting really. Wait, she didn't die. She had a stroke, right? Yeah,
she's dead.
Did Nichelle die? I forget.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
she didn't. Did she? She did.
I'm pretty sure she's dead. You can check. You can double check, but I'm pretty sure she's passed.
Let me just fact check this here.
You go ahead. I'll be expecting money in the mail for when you.
Nope, she's still alive.
Oh, really? Okay, that's what I meant.
Yeah, she had a pretty serious stroke not too long ago, and some people say that kind of like Stan Lee, people suspected that he was being forced to, go to conventions and sign. People are kind of like trying to save Nichelle Nichols and get her handlers to back off a little bit. It's kind of a sad thing when that happens. So
yeah, Forrest Ackerman did the same thing. The guy who was the original Monsters of Filmland publisher, who had like a museum. He had like a Hollywood museum or like a Cooperstown of all like the macabre and sci-fi and horror from like golden age of Hollywood. There's Forrest Ackerman.
Yeah, I interviewed him once.
Did you? So, and he was like in his 90s. I mean, close to 100, and like he had like a handler who was like a fan,
right?
And his wife, Ackerman's wife, had passed away years before, so he had nobody really help to take care of him. So this guy was like shuffling him out to every convention to get him to sign autographs. And he was like super old and sick, and he finally succumbed to whatever illness. Right. And then they said this guy ended up going into his house and like took a whole kinds of stuff from him before they got in there. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Some of these older people, like you said, like you got to be careful who's around them because a lot of these people are like trying to leech off of them. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, it's funny as you were saying the horror guy, I'm like, it sounds a lot like Forrest Ackerman. Jason's talking about, and then you're like, oh yeah, that was it. No, I interviewed
Forrest J. Ackerman. Yeah,
I interviewed him. I'll have to find the transcript. I think it's still out there for. So when I was at, maybe I shouldn't say this. When I was at Warner Brothers the first time in '95, I was moonlighting. At Universal doing Universal chats, and we have back then it was new because we not only we had chats at Warner Brothers where people would talk on computers, and I'd type for someone and then type for them, and then I'd ask questions and I'd type for them. I did stuff like that. Like I did that for Elijah Wood, where he came to my office and people would ask questions on AOL, and then I'd do another computer over here and stuff like that. But we were doing real audio, so you could actually hear what people were saying, and that was pretty cool back then. I actually got 5 stars with a bullet from Ed McMahon of Star Search for doing a good job.
Wow, there you go.
As opposed to John Landis, who was like, "How do I know you're typing exactly what I'm saying?" I'm like, whatever. He was a jerk. I'm not writing him TTM. He was just not the nicest person.
So I got a John Landis story. This is a good one. So I got him through the mail years ago, like 15, 18 years ago. He sent me a couple of things autographed, which I appreciate. He was pretty good about TTM, and back then, I don't know if he still is. So fast forward probably like 13, 12, 11 years ago, he came to Indianapolis. And he was supposed to be there for there's a convention in Indy called Horror Hound, or should I say Horror Hound, without my southern accent sounding like I'm talking about horrors.
Yeah, but if anyway, you say something else, that could be a whole other,
Right, exactly. Like, in Las Vegas, the horror convention. So, so anyways, so he's supposed to be there.
There goes my monetization right now.
Yeah. Sorry. So he's supposed to be there on Saturday and Sunday. So he's not there to sign on Friday. But he shows up, like his plane shows up, and so it's just kind of a classy move. So instead of him just going to the hotel and waiting until Saturday after morning to get there, he decided to show up and just hang out.
Okay.
So he's like just shows up, and you're just like kind of walking around. You're like, oh my gosh, there's John Landis, and he's like going to each table, shaking hands, and making jokes and everything like that. Which he's very like. It's funny because if it's on him, he's very personable and try to be funny. But if it's you initiating it, he's not so much open to it.
Yeah.
And so he goes to Tom Savini's table, and Tom Savini, and he's like never met John Landis, and so it's like seeing a little kid seeing one of their idols. So Tom Savini's like, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Landis," and all this stuff. And and Savini's the same age he is. They're like in their 60s at the time or whatever.
Right.
But it's just like, it's such a great time to meet you, sir. And they're talking, and John Landis is like, "Oh, I want this, 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 this." So he starts throwing money at like Savini to buy like all this kind of stuff. And I just happened to be there watching this transaction. So I'm like, "Hey, Mr. Landis, do you mind if I get a picture?" And he's kind of like, "Yeah, it's all right." And I mean, and I wasn't even trying to get an autograph because I know he's going to charge. But this is back in the day before you would charge for a picture. This is like you just get a picture on your phone or on a camera. So I go and get a picture. My friend, he goes, "Okay, I'll take the picture for you." So me and John Landis, he has his arm around me, and he's doing one of these, the typical point, whatever. And then, and he's pointing at me, and then my friend takes the picture, but he like fat fingers it and shakes the camera, and so it's blurry. And then he goes, "Hey, Jason, it's really blurry. Do you want to ask Landis again?" And I was like, "I guess." So he starts walking away, and I go, "Hey, Mr. Landis, I'm sorry. My friend fat fingered it. Can I get one more picture?" And and to his credit, he was like, "All right," but you could tell he was like super pissed off. He was like, "Oh my gosh!" But then he put his arm around me again, and he just was like this. So,
did it turn out? Did it turn out?
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. But I thought he'd give me a finger or punch me in the mouth or something. So but anyways, that was my John Landis story. But
he was just like, "How do I know you're typing exactly what I'm saying?" I'm like, "Because I'm a fast typer." And he's like, "Well, no questions about Twilight Zone." I'm like,
"Yeah, okay. You get told that early on. Like anytime that Landis was ever mentioned at a convention, they said he would not sign 8x10s, posters, CD, DVD, VHS covers, nothing that says Twilight Zone."
Yeah.
And when I first heard that, like in the late 90s or the early aughts, I was like, "Why?" But if you don't know, then the short version of it is the segment he filmed for the Twilight Zone movie, he ended up killing 3 people. Vic something,
and the kid,
and the two kids, and then like a quasi popular TV actor named Vic something.
Yeah, it was a helicopter accident, wasn't it?
Helicopter crash, and they filmed it all live. You can watch it live on. I mean, they showed it and everything. But what it was they told that they now no one ever takes full responsibility. But they wanted to have the helicopter as low as possible to the ground to make the special effects of the explosions look even better in camera. And so instead of the helicopter being higher up, they put it almost too far to the ground. And so when the fire flames shot up around the plane or the helicopter, it caught it.
Yep.
It exploded and it went down. So
So Henry says he got Margot Kidder for $25, and then she passed away. And that he has a TTM out to Landis now. Well, your mileage may vary. I just had a bad experience with him. So
and I mean Margot Kidder was pretty good through TTM as well, if I remember correctly. I think she was pretty good. I mean, I think you had to go through her website maybe, but you could get it like a guaranteed autograph, which I like because like when you and I did our thing a couple days ago, we talked about like Robert England and there's a few like D. Wallace
Right.
Stone. There's a
So
couple of them that
Sylvester
actually
McCoy,
cheaper.
or not
On what
Sylvester
was
McCoy,
that?
Tom Baker from Doctor Who.
Yes. Some of those guys are actually cheaper through their websites than if you meet them in person. So if you don't care about the interaction, you just want the autograph, it's usually it can be $10-$20 cheaper sometimes. Go through the website.
Yeah, Robert Englund is interesting because sometimes he'll like sign one TTM and then include his website thing, and then if you send him another, like he keeps track.
Right. He's like the Will Clark of the horror community. Like he'll give you one and that's it, and don't try to get him again. So.
Oh, I was thinking Fred Lynn with his green index cards for a second, but yeah, Will Clark, Fred Lynn getting him on a real card. Man, I got the 1991 Don Russ when I was at the Nationals because I'm like, every time I try him, I get the green index card of death. Whenever I send to Fred Lynn, so someone needs to do an interview, or I need to Google and figure out what is up with that. Why he won't sign anything but the green index cards. So maybe
it's like something to do with the Green Monster in Boston. Vic Morrow. That's right, Vic Morrow. So yeah.
But yeah, this is fun. I just I know I don't do live stuff very often. I don't have anything just laying around. I did buy I do. So our mall is dying in Ames, like a lot of malls, and there was this all of a sudden this card shop popped up, and so you got super cheap rent, and he has something called the Card Closet, which is just where most stores have their stock area. He just like put up a thing, but I bought a pack of Wisconsin Badgers collegiate trading cards for like $10. And there was hardly anything. No. There was like nothing.
Was there like any guaranteed autographs in there?
No, not at all.
That was the Pete Rose boxes that Leaf did a couple years ago. You're guaranteed a Pete Rose autograph.
I did get a older J.J. Watt somewhere.
Does he sign through the mail?
Well, he did. I got him twice at one point. I don't know.
He's a future Hall of Famer. He'd be one to get.
But so these might be good to send because this is like just a generic.
Oh yeah, that anybody can get that one. That's good.
Wisconsin card.
You can even use one of your celebrities who went to college there.
Yep, and here's the
J.J. Watt.
But these were $10, and I was just like, "Why do you have these? I don't even know why you have these."
And plus, it's in Iowa. Wouldn't he have Iowa Hawkeyes instead of the Wisconsin Badgers?
Yeah, he has a whole. Well, we never had actual card sets. I actually bought a box of these, and it's the stupidest thing I ever bought because I thought I'd do more, but there's really only like 4 cards in this thing. These Looney Tunes. I don't even know.
Can you get the guys who did the animation for it, the autographs on them?
Yeah, but it's like
the voice actors.
It's like Ken Griffey Jr. and these people that will never sign. Like I could get the voice actors probably, and that's what I was thinking. But there's only like 4 cards in the entire thing, for crying out loud.
Well,
this is the only relic I got. I don't even know who it is. Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon. I've never heard about it. I haven't never heard of Melvin.
But I thought it was only $10. But he they got like a 3-month deal on rent, and he was going to try it out. So I tried to throw him a couple bucks. He has some vintage, around the time of 91 Don Russ sets that I might be able to buy, but most of this, and some autographs, but I don't think he authenticates.
Right.
So he has like 4 binders of 8x10s of people you never heard of, like newscasters from New England and stuff like that. I'm like,
yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah, I got a couple of those when I was living down in Louisville, where I'm from, and they were like a guaranteed easy autograph. So I would always send to the studio, like send an email, like
right.
like Vicky Johnson at WOKY.com or whatever. And then and like sometimes they would like have a correspondence with you, which is hilarious. I mean, I know they're local, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. But then they'd be like, "Well, how you doing? Thank you for reaching out. You know, we'll be out in Southern Indiana this week for a story." And I'm like, okay, thanks. I'm just trying to get an autograph, but all right. I don't know we're gonna be best buds.
Oh, here you go. Someone knows him. The guy that owns the card shop. Oh, well, I don't. There's actually 2 card shops in Ames now. One's Main Street Sports Cards, and they're never open, never, ever, ever. And this one is a new one in the mall, so maybe that's who you're thinking of. He seemed cool. I tried to get him to stock my book, and he wasn't too impressed. I said, "Hey, why don't you put my book over here?" And he's like, "Well, maybe we could work something out." But I think his 3-month trial was up in December, so I'll see if he's there Saturday or if he gave up.
We'll see if he made it to the new year.
Right? Oh, we got a new viewer here. Ike Mullet.
Hey, hello. Tell you who.
Oh, he says it is the one in the mall. That's cool. It looks like I have a local. I'll have a local here.
Falsey, yeah, you and Falsey might be hooking up, and
I gotta watch. I gotta watch what I say, I guess. So.
I know. You need to stop talking about that guy's mom.
Maybe I shouldn't say that he got the 3-month deal or something, but
it's not like you said he got syphilis.
That's true, man. But seriously, our mall is mostly like there's another mall in a smaller town that has like in Story City that has been almost vacant for 10 years, and the Ames Mall is just really hurting. Like every other store is gone, and even now with COVID, hardly they're ever open. You know, stuff like that.
You might want to reach out to Antique Archaeology. They might put your book out.
I've been there. I've been to the Pickers because my friend has a distillery in LeClaire, which is the same city, and you go in and nothing is for sale except for stuff in the gift shop. Like everything they have from the show has a tag on it that says not for sale. Literally. So I think he takes his good stuff over to Tennessee. But everything that you might have seen from the show says not for sale because they know that people come there to look at the stuff from the show. And so you could get your own Picker notebook for kids where you could write down what you find at a garage sale and, stupid.
I just would want their autographs. I don't care about that other crap.
Their autographs.
If they happen to be there, or they have already pre-signed stuff, I would just get that. I don't care about the freaking Dino gas station pump signage from 1944. Whatever.
All right, Ike. I'll ask you this: who is your favorite autograph you have, Zombie?
All right, let me get them out.
It has to be the Dawn for you. I would think.
The Dawn the Dead.
Dawn.
Oh, Dawn. Oh, yeah.
Mattingly.
Yeah.
My favorite autograph that I have, man, I always think of the first one, but that's not my favorite.
Well,
I would think I'd put the favorite one on the back here, wouldn't I have? That is a good question. People ask that, and I never have a good answer. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to go with one of my first TTMs, I guess, and that was Iowan Elijah Wood, who I later met. So got him TTM pretty early in his career. So who is that?
This is Don Coscarelli, who did the movie Phantasm. But he said, Jason, keep those balls in the air. So that's probably one of my favorites because he was really, really awesome. I got so many cool ones, though, guys, to be honest. I've been really fortunate to get some really cool autographs. Another one I'm really proud of is this one right here. Francis Ford Coppola.
Yep. I like his wine, too.
Yeah. Yeah, his wine is really good. they sell it here in Indiana, which is nice at the local Meyer.
Oh, the Meyer.
Yeah. Oh man, but I could be I could be here like literally all day showing autographs, but
yes, Henry, my mall does have a GNC. Those are still around.
there's Fred the Hammer Williamson right there from Dusk Till Dawn.
Nice.
And it's the Japanese Japanese one. So, but anyways, yeah, man. So what about you? What did you say is your favorite?
I said the one of my first TTMs, or my very first TTM, was Elijah Wood back in
Elijah Wood. That's right.
In the day, which was fun because I later, back then I never would have thought I'd have him come to my office and do a live chat. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, you never thought you would show up at his house and he'd be there waiting for you.
We don't talk about that. The restraining order is still valid. Oh, there you go. Got a heart there too. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she was like, "Oh, Jason, you're so classy."
Elbow says, try sending Fredlin a birthday card along with your card request. Interesting.
What about if I send him a card from his bar mitzvah?
Henry, is it Mason? No, Mason and I. So I actually used to go to Chicago and spend the weekend with the Gambles. They're a real cool.
You used to hang out with the Mason Gamble?
Yeah.
At the house?
Yep, at the house.
Man, what's he doing now?
He is, I believe, a professor or assistant professor at UCLA, I think. So he just had his first kid, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Doing pretty good. His dad, I don't know if you know this, but his dad still gets fan mail from the Breakfast Club. His dad was in the Breakfast Club. He played.
He played the janitor, right?
No, he played. Who was it? Who was the girl? Molly Ringwald? Was that?
Yeah, her dad.
Her dad in the car.
Really?
and he still gets fan mail from the Breakfast Club. That's pretty funny.
Awesome. Yeah, like because he acts like real hoity-toity, right? He's like you're an embarrassment for doing this or something like that.
Yeah, but no, his dad actually has coached pole vaulting at a school in the suburbs for like 30 years or 40 years. They still have pole vaulting over there, which is pretty fun. Do you have any Sopranos? No, I never got any Sopranos autographs at all. I was never, I've never even seen The Sopranos. Like I watched part of the last episode at the diner or whatever just to watch it. I think when it when it came out, but no, I haven't. Favorite TTM was Nolan Ryan, but the favorite one I bought is Kobe Bryant. Yeah, Nolan. Cool. Nolan is cool. He puts a little sticker on everything, so you know it's real. But there's the cat I heard on Bob's live stream giving you a hard time.
I know he's been sleeping in this box next to me. It's weird. He's in the box.
Here you go. Uh-oh. This might hurt us both. Here you go. Met Fred Lynn at the Field of Dreams movie site a couple of years ago. So Jason was actually going to come to Iowa this year for the new stadium, and we are going to see the White Sox and the Yankees play, and then
the whole Rona hashtag.
Yeah. And I was actually looking forward to it. I was saving money to actually stay closer to there and get a hotel, all this stuff. And I heard that they have the date and the teams for next year, but the tickets aren't on sale yet, because it might be canceled again. But they have built up this huge, it's not a full stadium, but a working stadium over there that was not able to be used this last year. And now, if you just go to the Field of Dreams movie site, you can just go and walk on and just go. There's no admission to that part. They do charge for souvenirs, and they charge to go in the house. But
so the house is still there?
The house is still there. And actually, I know someone who used to live in the apartment in the top floor of the house. It's an actual like apartment. But it used to be that two families owned two different parts of the field. One owned part of the outfield and the cornfield, and one owned the other one. And so one was the official movie site, and one was the official field or something like that. And they had two different entrances along this the road and everything, and there were two different things, and you had to pay twice if you wanted to do one or the other. But now it's all owned by the same person. So let's see. There you go, Henry. Tim Gamble is his name, and you can find he was also in I want to say Usual Suspects or one of those films too. He hasn't done a lot, but
Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, but Tim Gamble, he's a good guy.
I'm gonna send to him and name drop you next week.
Yeah, I mean, I did Mason's website for years, and just this year, I think I got his domain name to him. Like, I was like, hey, we haven't used this in 10 years. Do you want it? So got that to him, but they're really cool. And we actually, one of the times I went there, he must have been like 14 or 15. And we took the L into like Navy Pier in Chicago, but not Navy Pier. It was more toward the Bean thing. And
right.
We went for lunch at this restaurant, and we sit down. He's like, look behind you. And I turned back, and it's like this giant 50 by 50 square picture of Dennis the Menace.
Are you serious? That's
cool. It was his picture up on the wall. I was just like,
awesome.
Okay, this is weird.
That's cool. Did people recognize him in public during this time, or not really?
Oh, well, yeah, but it was well, in Chicago, probably not. I mean, it was during his, awkward teenage years. Yeah, you can stay at the house at the Field of Dreams. Yeah, but this person that I know actually had the apartment as an actual place where she lived for I don't know how long. It might have been before they started letting people stay there, but it was her apartment. It was pretty cool.
I wonder how much it costs to stay at the actual house. Probably $1,000 a night.
You can find that online at Field of Dreams official.
Fieldofdreams.com.org.edu.
Ike wants to know, what are the chances of getting a current NFL player? Pretty good if you get the right person. I'm still getting some in. Where did I get in recently? Oh, I haven't done videos on these.
Just send a monetary. Just send some monetary to Black Lives Matter, and you'll get one for sure.
I'm going to the secret stash now.
Oh, secret stash.
I thought I got one in that took like 4 years or something. He might not be current anymore.
Yeah, he last time he played was 87.
Mark Sanchez, is he still around?
Oh yeah, look at that, Mark Sanchez.
What's funny was
he's quarterback, I think, for the Eagles, right?
Yeah, what's funny was on the Eagles card he says "Go Eagles," and on the Jets card he says "Go Jets."
Nice. He knows who butters his bread. I think I'm gonna go get some sake. I'll be right back.
Wow. Oh, here you go. Here's a couple more. Posey.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Texans. So. Yeah, so my battery has so far lasted 1 hour and 15 minutes. So thanks everybody for staying on.
Are you gonna call it a night, Troy? Or are you staying on?
Oh, he does. Joe says Sanchez does the college post game show now. So I think it will go until like 9:15, and then I'll start winding it down. Saki, is that your New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
Inebriation.
Yeah, buddy. And my my Asahi little cup here.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
So Zane Savage, sent me a few more prizes for the Hit the Deck contest. So I wanted to share these with people who's are still here, even though the Hit the Deck video is my most disliked video ever. So he sent me a DVD
You're
with
welcome.
a signed cover of Jackass 3. I don't have all the people who signed it in front of me, but a lot of people. And we'll have a autograph of the one and only Bob Euchre. No, Eubanks. Sorry, Bob Eubanks. There you go, Bob Euchre.
I was like, that's not Bob Euchre, but okay, let's just go with it.
Who is this? Billy Williams. Hand drawn.
But he's a Hall of Famer. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Zombie Collector's favorite. And North Korea's favorite.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman, baby.
Dennis Rodman.
Come pie.
But yeah, NFL, I kind of go in cycles. I did NFL for a while. And I pretty much sent out all my NFL cards. And so that's why I don't send them anymore. And now I'm at, yeah.
Whoa,
what was that?
Okay. Do you still have a lot of the cards I gave you?
Yeah. So Mike from Autographs for a Cure says he finally found the way to thumbs down this video. Mike.
Yes.
Mike, shame on you.
Mike, you need to go to my channel and thumbs down. I'll take any traffic I can get.
I have half a mind to pull Mike in here if he's available. I don't know. Does Billy D. Williams do TTM? I don't think so because he gets paid too much for conventions. Actually, so that same convention where I saw Franklin sitting alone, I saw Billy D. Williams' son and Gamorrean guard number 3 sitting alone with nobody at their table either.
Some of these people, like I don't know if anybody knows about those like Walker Stalker conventions or a lot of the Walking Dead conventions that like they'll have like 20 celebrities and quotes do these shows, and it's like, if you actually have some of the actual stars or like people who have real characters on the show, even if they might not make it very long, like I guess I can kind of get it spending $20 or whatever. But if you literally have the well zombie or the zombie in the puddle or the zombie in the car and you're charging $25.
Hang on one sec. Sorry.
Slow down.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm just saying, those people charging $20 is like an abomination, dude. I'm like, They literally were on the show for like 2 seconds.
But I want to be that guy. I want to be Gamorrean guard number 4.
Oh my God. Well, I would like to get that paycheck. Don't get me wrong, but I feel weird going to a convention sitting next to like Steven Yuen or like whoever, whatever. What's the guy who plays Daryl's name?
Oh yeah,
I can't think of his name all of a sudden. But anyways, that guy. And then and then you're like trying to charge almost the same kind of money. I'm like, are you serious right now?
Right.
You should be happy people even know who you are.
Yeah, back in the day, like everybody was signing TTM from that show. Andrew Lincoln and Chandler Rigg, like everybody was signing TTM, and then conventions hit, and boom. So
I got a pretty big run. I got to go back and look, but I love the TV show that came out in like 2006 and 7, Heroes.
Yep.
And I got like probably half the cast TTM, and then they got pretty big. Like the second season was blowing up because they hit. I mean, I got them right when the first season was starting to like take off. So like all those people except for like 1 or 2 of them really didn't have any career before Heroes. So like all of them were like easy to get through the mail because they were like just on the way up. And so I probably got like 2/3 of the cast, which is a pretty big deal because it's a big cast of characters.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the season, it was so hot that it was hard to get everybody because they weren't wanting to sign to the mail, and then they added more people for season 2, like a bigger cast. So it became somewhat daunting. But I would think now most of those people are no longer big deals anymore. So I could probably get their autographs again now that I think about it.
Well, I was a big Greg Grunberg fan from Alias, and then he was on Hero, and now Star Wars. He's been in all the Star Wars movies recently. Although
he's J.J. Abrams' good Lucky Charm.
Yeah, well, he keeps gaining weight like
That's true.
Like a lot of us do. But hey, Huber says, where did you get your hat? I actually made this about 5 years ago on one of those sites like Zazzle. I don't know if they still make these, but it's actually embroidered, which is kind of nice. But yeah. But
the Mexican kid do it.
Heroes Milo is like blown up with This Is Us, in the last couple of years. So
yeah, but most of those guys are not, anything anymore.
Yeah.
I only got one guy from Breaking Bad.
And I bet I know who it is, but why don't you tell me?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to pull it up.
Because I'm not doing good with names today. It's the guy from Better Call Saul, right?
Yep.
The bodyguard?
Yep.
What's his name? Someone's going to tell me in chat, so I don't have to tell you. That guy. Yep.
Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, he's a great TTMer. Yep.
And the cool thing is he wrote me a letter back. He wrote me a little note back.
What's it say at the top?
Carpe diem, seize the day.
Jason, Iowa. What's underneath that? What's under Jason?
No, I owe Indiana University a lot.
Oh, I owe.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Maybe he spelled Iowa wrong, but
yeah, it is dear to my heart because he went to Indiana University, and I talked to him about that in my letter.
Yeah, no, he's been a great signer, Jonathan Banks.
So yeah, Jonathan Banks. Yeah, Jonathan Banks. He's the only one I got through the mail. I don't know if any of the other one do too. I know some of those guys might be too big for it, but
yeah, that's especially now, and they'd be kind of hard pressed to get anything now. For a while there,
the guy who played Saw, Bob Odebeck or whatever his last name is. He started out. Well, I don't know when, but he started out on the Ben Stiller show as one of the comedians on there, and I remember thinking he was actually pretty. He was a pretty good actor, better than I think Janine Garofalo. And then I never heard of him until he showed up on Breaking Bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a dude from the Ben Stiller show from back in the 90s on Fox.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's that dude. Like, has that weird last name, Obadek or whatever.
Obedenkirk
Obedenkirk, yeah.
So Bill Williams going to write Jonathan Banks. Good.
Yeah, right. And if you write him, like I said, like I know Troy and I kind of make. I don't know how our philosophies are. Some with through the mail. I think you do a printed letter or whatever, correct?
Yep.
All right. So I do a handwritten letter, and I always change up the style depending on the person who I'm sending to. I know some people have a form letter they use. They change out people's names and stuff, and it's almost the same. I'm not saying that's what Troy does, but I know some people do that. Huh?
That's what I do.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that, but mine's always super personal, and I write, and so I usually almost what I think they don't get asked very often. So think about Jonathan Banks is not going to be asked about going to Indiana University to get his college degree. No one's asking him that question. But guess what? I asked him that question, and he wrote me back. So I mean, if I just would have been like, "You were great in Better Call Saul," he sees that 1,000 times a month or whatever, right? So I'm really passionate about this because it's like, if you want a good response, if you're just trying to get the autograph, then it's whatever. I mean, I totally understand. Like some people just want the autograph, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But for me, I want to have an interaction. Like, so I really do try to do a little research, and I always usually ask between 3 to 6 questions that are like one sentence long questions, so it's not like the entire the whole page.
Okay,
and I'll ask them, and then sometimes if it's like the thing with Jonathan Banks, I knew he was from Indiana, so I zeroed in on that and wrote like a paragraph about that specific thing. And I think celebrities or sports people, if they actually do take the time to read your letter, they see that you're actually attempting more than, can I have your autograph for free? Thank you.
Right.
And everybody, and I'm not saying that, I mean, I sent one to Vance Law. If you all saw this earlier today, Vance Law has a very long career. Shockingly, he had a very long career. I wrote him a whole page, asked him all kinds of questions about playing in, I think he played in Japan for a year, a couple different things. He sent me nothing back, just the card. That's fine. But I treat Vance Law the same way if I would treat like Clint Eastwood or whoever, like the same serious level of trying to ask questions. So my success rate, generally speaking, has been pretty high. But also I know not to send people like Bruce Willis an autograph because we know that's not going to happen,
Right.
So what's one of the one celebrities that you ever sent to that you were surprised you got a response back on, Troy? I know you talked about like Mark McGuire before and all that, but on a celebrity, which ones you think is kind of a Hail Mary that you got back? Is there one that you can think of? Because there's a couple I think I've seen you have before, and I'm like, wow, you got that person? That's pretty cool.
I don't know. There's been so many of them. I don't know if I have ever one actually.
Oh, that's nice. Well, it's nice in the world you live in if you can be like, well, what do you mean one, Jason?
Yeah, really.
You mean more like 15 or 20?
So, who's the biggest celebrity athlete? I guess I kind of answer that. So, celebrity-wise, I did get I still think it's real, DiCaprio back in the 90s. And then I got 2 J.J. Watts. I sold one, but I still have one here.
You got Leonardo DiCaprio in the 90s?
Yeah. And then, of course, Peyton. And this guy who just retired, Luke Kuechly.
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, I got DiCaprio in the 90s, and it's kind of it's a 5x7. And there are a lot of them on Star Tiger, but they're all kind of different. And jury is kind of out, but they look nothing like his current signature, which is just a squiggle.
Yeah, he's the Bruce Campbell of Hollywood movies.
Actually, I saw an article. I think it was today that was like, Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks is now going to be on Netflix or Amazon Prime, and people were really excited. I was like, it was an okay. If you've seen, actually, he's a good TTMer. Abagnale Jr., the guy who Catch Me If You Can is based off of, Frank Abagnale Jr. I got that same one. Yep. Wait, that's mine.
Well, unless your name's Jason.
Wait a second here.
He actually put my last name on there too, by the way.
What's the date on that? What's the date?
4/19/03. What? No way, dude. No way.
4/29/03.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Is that crazy?
Did you that on the back?
I think so. But that's funny, like 10 days apart back then.
Wow, that is crazy.
Back before I didn't know what a zombie was back then.
That's awesome, dude.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, I guess that movie's back on streaming. It's okay, but Frank doesn't look anything like Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, he does not. Not on his best day and Leonardo's worst day. Here's a cool one.
Bob's
Kobayashi.
Oh, that's not Bob's Big Boy. That's
Yeah, that's the hot dog eating champion for all those years.
It looks like Bob's Big Boy logo, though.
It does.
Hey, Chris. No, I do not do. I did some military ones off of a Panini Pop Century or Panini, some Panini cards where I had some World War II vets, but I don't really get into the military autographs that much. I always wanted like Schwarzkopf or something like that. But someone earlier was mentioning the Desert Storm cards. I remember when those came out and they were such a hot item. And someone in chat just said they got a whole box for $5 for a while there. They were sold out everywhere. We get them in at the grocery store where I worked in high school, and we'd buy them before. So this is actually happening now, Zombie. Apparently, yeah, I got Fred Willard too. I don't know if mine has a date on it. But apparently, because cards are being so scarce right now, you got people actually in the store stocking them that instead of stocking them, they just buy them.
What?
Have you been hearing about that? Yeah, and that's what we used to do with like the Desert Storm cards because they were such a hot commodity. They'd come in and before we'd even open them up, I'd just say, I'll take the case. And, I'd buy the case and take them off. But that's what I've been hearing a lot about, like the stores like Walmart and stuff where they don't even hit the shelves. They're just people working there buy them.
Well, I know people have heard this before, but I had a confirmation of this last week when I was out at one of the car shops I go to. This guy, he was walking around like he thought he was hot stuff, and I'm like, I can't stand guys like that. But anyways, he was walking around like he was hot stuff, and then he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "I always go. I have a deal worked out at the Walmart or whatever that they don't even bring out the cards anymore. They keep them in the back. They call me when they come in. I swing around back, and I give him something off the top. I just buy it off of him directly, because he buys it. The guy, like you said, the guy, the stalker buys it. And then he knows this guy's going to come in and spend, double what he spent on his card or whatever to afford it. And then he gives him double because he's going to sell it for triple or whatever. And so it's like, and I'm just like, and he's over here wanting me to pat him on the back. And I'm like, you're the reason why I hate this hobby right now. Like, if it wasn't for COVID, I'd like to get in your face and punch you in the mouth. But,
Well, if you need hockey cards, Walmart seems to have a lot of hockey cards for some reason.
Well, when I was on Bob's live stream right before I got over here to you, he mentioned starting to collect hockey cards. I thought it was a joke because there's a handful of guys in the community that all of a sudden become hockey fans by default. And I'm like, but are you really? But I go, well, are you really into hockey though? Are you just buying it just to have something open up? And I've heard multiple people say no, they're really into it. I'm like, are you into the cards? Are you into the hobby or the sport?
Right.
Because, apparently it starts up in January, so it's going to be next month. And I'm like, now all of a sudden, are you into it? Are you going to be watching games? Because, like, to me, like, that's why I don't collect football or basketball cards, even of, like, older players. I mean, I could go and buy, like, you and I could go to Facebook Marketplace, and for $10, you could buy a big box of this card. If you just want TTM fuel, right? I mean,
or goodwill.com and they'll ship them to you.
Right, Goodwill, right? But it's like I don't even have any interest in the sport, so for me, it's not even worth the time to send off a request unless if they happen to be from Indiana, then I might be open to trying that. But that's it. I mean, honestly, like I don't care. So with baseball, even though I maybe have never watched Vance Law play, like an entire game of my life, but I'm sure I caught some of it when I was younger. I love baseball. I loved watching his sons play, stuff like that. His dad played obviously as well for the Pirates stuff. So I'm like, I enjoy the history of the game, so I can get into it. But the guy who played wide receiver for the Falcons in '82, I can care less.
Oh, come on.
So no, nothing bad about that. But I mean, so that's why I was like, everybody's into hockey now, and I'm like, but do you really care?
Or quarterback for the Jets in the 2020s. Or
right. Well, I think the Sanchez guys actually used to be pretty good. When I remember correctly, he had like a couple good seasons. Maybe I'm wrong, but his name sounds familiar.
I actually got in. I don't know what I did with it. It's over there. I got in AC Green the other day from the NBA.
That's a basketball player, right?
Yeah.
Was he playing for the Celtics?
I believe so. I don't have it with me. I could see it over there, but I can't reach it because everything's all over the place. So, to Jason, what's that from? Blade,
Blade, the TV show.
Oh, okay.
Man, yeah, Jill Wagner, dude, super, super hot. She's in all those Hallmark movies now. Her and Bruce Boxleitner.
They're just up there doing a very whatever Princess Christmas or whatever.
Christmas, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like the Phantom of the Opera's Christmas or whatever. It's like doesn't throw anything up there. Are you ready to hop off? You said it sound like. Are you?
Yeah. Let me look at this little.
Woohoo! Fancy.
Yeah, I'm going to call it a night. And thanks Zombie for jumping on and testing this with me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for inviting me. I had told Bob, I go, hey, I made a promise to Troy before you. Like literally, Troy got in touch with me like 5 minutes before, so I want to keep my word. But he's like, oh, that's cool, man. So I didn't want you to like take my stampers away forever. So.
Well, I wasn't. I'm just glad you can make it. You could have stayed over there.
It was great. We need to do it again.
Yep. So now that I know this kind of works, it's kind of an interesting way to set things up because I don't do anything. I don't do anything halfway. So I have 5 lights and a microphone and.
I know. I remember the Mountain Dew recipes. I know you're not playing around with that.
Oh, I don't know. What's all this? I don't know if I have anything in here.
This cat just keeps looking at me like I'm going to do something with her, but I'm not doing it with him. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, these are like the only military ones I have from Panini Americana. That's what they are. They're World War II or Vietnam.
Yeah, there's not many of those guys left. So.
Yeah. I think Henry.
Do you know? Are people signing through the mail on those Desert Storm cards? Because I mean, a lot of those guys now would be in their like 50s and 70s. I would think. Roughly.
I don't know who all you would send to be honest.
Schwarzkopf and
Ollie.
And who's the
Oliver North maybe.
Oliver North, yeah, Ollie. And then who was the guy who was like Bush's defense secretary? The guy. Oh shoot, I can't remember. But yeah, there's a handful of them that are maybe around still. But yeah, but I might look into that. So I might have to look into that because that's something you can get super cheap now, like for $1 a box or something. So.
Well, look at that.
But anyway, well, I appreciate you having me on, dude. It was awesome. Hopefully, we'll do this again.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. We're gonna probably call this. And, we'll see you in 2021. Woohoo! No mail tomorrow, right?
No mail tomorrow, but Saturday.
There you go.
Saturday. Get those TTMs out.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jason. And we'll talk to you later. As I say, bye-bye.